We got to get into this.
Yeah.
I finally got around to watching it. Tiger King. I mean,
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
somebody went to jail. Somebody went to.
All right, Jack. Is this the coolest, wildest
I would say
documentary
it's
you've
the
ever
best
seen in your
timed,
life?
best timed documentary of all time. I mean, it dropped when the whole world could watch it. It's crazy. There's tigers. There's Joe Exotic. I mean, there's just what comes within. There's what is it, Doc Antle, like the playboy of the. I mean, I didn't understand what the whole Tiger King, the tiger world even was, like the exotic animal world, like it's
I don't think
nuts.
anybody really does.
It's nuts. Like I don't even know where to start. Like it starts off.
All right, let's start here. Who was your favorite and least favorite
My
characters
least favorite
in
character
the
was
show?
Carol Baskin. I mean, absolutely crazy. Killed her husband. I mean, there's no way that she. I mean, when they talked about when Joe Exotic got attacked by the lion while he was doing like the interview or whatever, or doing the video, and they were talking about putting pee. Oh no, something
Sardine
on
oil.
the guys to like it's the scent to get on a. To get on his foot, and she's like, "Well, if you were gonna do that, you could do sardine oil. Like, but I wouldn't do that. But if you were gonna do it, you would use sardine." It's like,
why would you even think of that? Why would you even have that thought cross your mind to say out
when
loud?
She was walking around with her new husband, which I don't know how you could marry her. That's crazy. And he was like walking too close, or was looking at the pictures too close, and like she was like, "Are you gonna read it too? Are you gonna look at him too? Like too close or?" I mean, I don't know how you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can marry. That's crazy that she got remarried after that. Also, have you seen the thing where they say that they think Jeff Lowe was her first husband?
Yeah, that's
the only thing that gets me is the picture is kind of close,
cool.
but I mean, who knows? But that's what I'm saying. This is also the time of conspiracy theories. If you got a conspiracy theory, throw it out now because,
got too much time on our hands.
My favorite character.
Who was your favorite character?
Had to be the manager, because he seemed like he was like, the guy with
no legs.
Yeah, because it's like he's like, you think I got like mauled by a tiger or something, but no, it was
no.
It was
ziplining
first of all,
accident.
I've never ziplined. Another reason why I'll never zipline. But yeah, and then.
Well, I'm sure the way he did it wasn't probably like.
No, but that's
the safest way to zip line.
Yeah.
Knowing those type of people, he
but
probably
that guy
did some sort of like
he did it in someone's hunting.
He seemed like a decent guy. Like he was working hard, trying to make a living. I mean, got caught up in a lot of that, just the crazy shit that was going on at the zoo. But always seemed like he had good intentions throughout. Maybe the only person that did. Because my second least favorite character would have to be the campaign manager. I'm not a fan of that campaign. Like, what?
Yeah,
you tried to you didn't like Joe at first, and you tried to be like, oh, I got stuck with this, but then you wanted the job, you wanted to finally run your own campaign, and then you were selling bullets at selling ammo at Walmart.
Yeah, he was like the manager of the gun department
or
something.
What?
I mean, that guy has got a great story. I
understand that, but
he's what, like, low 30s. He ran a governor campaign for that state, and he's also like he went from like selling ammunition to running a campaign. He
also got stuck in like the worst situation of the whole. That was crazy.
Blow their brains.
Yeah. Well, did you hear in the interview that? When Travis did shoot himself, he wasn't even trying to shoot himself. He was just saying, like, look, it won't fire because there's no clip. And then and then of course it fired right through his, I mean, like,
unbelievable.
Jeez.
Anyone who's never shot a gun, like you just know if there's one in the clip.
Yeah, because he pretty much said like he's like chamber, I could tell he was surprised.
It's not even one of the top 5 craziest stories of the whole documentary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's crazy. It's not even the top 5.
Gamer, who was your favorite and least favorite character?
I'll start with my least favorite. My least favorite was Jeff Lowe.
Yeah.
Because that dude's
he
just
should be in jail too.
He
should be in jail too. He
like,
will be in jail.
Whenever he talks. Yeah. Like when he talks, I just want to like punch him. Like he's a very punchable face. The way he dresses when he was like, makes me mad.
Did I try to persuade Joe to say some things on tape? Yeah, probably. It's like, dude, you're so slimy.
But did I set him up?
No, I wouldn't do that. What?
But
it's a slimy.
But I tried to get him to say
crazy
the exact words I want him to on tape. That's it.
And I can't remember.
He looks like every guy that has worn.
Well, I don't know if you guys watched the David Spade. He kind of did. It was during the the coronavirus stuff, so it was on Skype or Zoom or whatever. And he did it with Jeff Lowe, and he asked him how many Affliction T-shirts he had and how many leather jackets he owned. I think he said 40 or 50 Affliction T-shirts.
He said 60 to 70
is that Affliction?
Shirts.
Is that a band? Is that a band?
Either way.
I mean, just...
it's a clothing line.
Crazy.
Yeah, favorite.
So who's your favorite then, Gamer?
So I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was the really tall, skinny, had long blonde hair. All he did was kind of just like animals. He was so genuine and real. Like he had like... Just listening to him talk, like he just did not care at all about Joe or any of the management. All he wanted to do was just play with Tigers, and it's like
when they were like
normal thing right there for like a guy who's like in a very abnormal situation.
They were just eating the food like guy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. Eating all the old Walmart food.
All that. Oh no! Like they're feeding it to the animals, and then like they. Did you know? I was listening to the Pat McAfee pod. That there was suspicion that he was using the ground up stuff as the toppings for his pizzas.
Yeah, to put on the pizza.
Yeah, the pizza.
Oh my god,
that's disgusting.
Like that's the kind of stuff that like when you think about like it is crazy that Joe Exotic got 22 years, but like they've all done stuff that probably should land them in jail. There's probably I would say. Other than
they should all be in prison.
Both of our favorite characters, Gamer, everyone else should probably be in jail. Maybe not the campaign manager,
and the one who. And John.
I don't think John
should. John Finley should either.
No, my favorite character was I think her name was Kelsey, but the one that had her arm bitten off. Because she is a ride or die. She was back
because she didn't want anyone to be like, "Oh no, somebody didn't get their arm bit off." That they would have to take it. Yeah,
that's someone you need in your corner.
What kind of person gets their arm bit off and is like thinking like, "Oh, I don't want this to look bad. Like I don't want this to make the park look bad or anything." Like that's crazy. I would say I would say all three of our favorite characters would have to be easily the favorite characters of mostly everybody else because everyone else is like even the campaign manager. Yeah, he probably should. He's not supposed to be. He shouldn't be in jail. He didn't do anything illegal. But still, I just didn't like him. And John Finley.
Yeah,
John Finley
again too. Back to slimy. Yeah, I like John. Yeah, he and then if you on the 8th episode they talk to him and he has obviously all his teeth back and he admits he had problems with drugs and but my least favorite character kind of ties in with your guys' it was Jeff Lowe's like right hand man and I cannot remember his name but the guy
on the
what was
that dude?
The guy on the jet ski.
No, the
the guy with the
that guy.
The guy that was
weirdo.
The guy that was supposedly going
interview.
to do the hit for Joe Exotic.
Yeah, he's just like, I decided not to and just
I just forgot.
What are you talking about?
His stories were all over the place.
That guy
his stories were all over the place.
And I will say that, like, I think I watched this like 3 weeks ago when it first came out. The Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin memes have really jumped the shark to me. And I don't know like how recently you guys have, but like internet is somehow related to Tiger King. And it's like, all right, guys, like,
can
we give this
trying to get famous.
Going back to what I said, it's literally the best timed documentary of all time.
And like, but the biggest problem to me is most of them just aren't funny. Like everything is like, oh, Carol Baskin killed, Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like,
the one video.
What are we doing?
The one
here?
video though, where there's the video, she's like, "Oh hey, all you cool cat and kittens," and there's the sound in the back, "Call the cops! Call the cops!" It's just like she has crazy. She has like the craziest look of all time.
Well, what do you guys consider to be like the craziest storyline? Because like we've talked about, we said like, oh, the Travis kid shooting himself in the head is like the 8th craziest thing that happened. I think it's the meth throuple, the 3 guys that got married because they were all on drugs. That's just my personal. That's wild.
That was wild.
We're like, yeah, we're kind of gay,
but like Joe Exotic said, he fell in love with 2 straight guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was just whatever.
Wild stories.
That was wild.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think this probably isn't like my favorite one, but honorable mention is the fact that now we know confirmed that is not Joe Exotic singing.
That's disappointing. That's really disappointing.
That honestly kind of broke my heart.
And I don't know about you guys, that jumped off to me real fast because in like the first 3 episodes, they show like 6 music videos, and I'm like, why does everyone that owns a tiger think that they're like a country music star? Like, what is the correlation there?
But the music videos were good.
Zach,
I like the music videos.
Do you have a favorite story?
I mean, how it's just so glossed over that like Carol Baskin's husband just went missing, and like the guy's ex-wife is pretty much like, yeah, Carol Baskin killed him. Like a tiger ate. They were like, they talked about how a tiger could like, how like when a tiger eats a human or whatever, it breaks the. I don't know. Like that is.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That like that's just pretty much glossed over. Also, disappointing to me was the character for what was the movie? Tony Montana. Why did they go more with that?
Scarface.
Like, that should have been a little bit longer in this whole 6-7 episode thing.
Well, I think if you notice, Zach, a lot of it they could barely get any access to it. Remember, they were all allowed in for like 30 minutes because that guy's super secretive about his collection. But yeah, that was.
He did time for
and like I don't know about you. I never
mob-related charges, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was like a cocaine kingpin in Miami, so he got pinched. But one of the stories that blows my mind is that for less than like $2,000, you can buy a tiger in this country.
Yeah.
And they were the amount of money they make on the tiger from like the day it's born to like a certain day, it's crazy because like when they can take it around to places and like Shaq ends up showing up in it, and it's just like it's crazy what this. There's like the life behind the exotic animals.
Definitely.
I think we forget about the animals a little bit. Like the fact that they made that statement is the very end, and it was like the most like powerful thing I thought of the whole documentary was the fact they said there are like 4,000 total tigers in the wild and around the world, but there's like 5,000 in captivity.
Yeah. Well, like, that's insane. A lot of the reason but there's a reason why Joe Exotic's in jail is for the killing and the burying and all that kind of stuff that they found out there.
Yeah. Joe Exotic does belong in prison, and I don't know if he was.
Yeah. It's just the other guys also do.
Big story behind it. He definitely committed a ton of crimes, and I mean, I think one of the low-key funniest things in the story was when that girl got her arm bitten off, and within 30 seconds, Joe Exotic had that handmade.
Yeah, or like he walks into the gift shop and is like, explains the whole thing. It's like, if you want a refund or whatever, or a free T-shirt, like we can accommodate that.
Yeah.
Well,
they're all just like,
he's like, I'm never going to be able to financially recover from this. Or when like they were having the Thanksgiving dinner and he goes outside with all the cameras and cries, and the one guy's like, he must have had some onions in his pocket. But it's
And I think like also one of the things that gets kind of glossed over was the like he definitely just blew that recording studio up, right?
Oh yeah,
He killed a bunch of gators too. Like he had like animals in there, so just blew it up. What is? It was obviously.
Oh yeah, because you know there were stuff that he did not want out in there.
Yeah, they would have picked something up on cameras beforehand if it would have been somebody
and like
else.
they were saying, if it would have been the producers, like that, they were saying that Carol Baskin may have paid the producer to do that, but they think that the producer probably would have had like a backup or something, just because you wouldn't think they'd be gone forever. Like it was.
Right. He was a professional. He wanted the TV out there. He wanted.
It was pretty clearly Joe Exotic, because I think he just kind of knew what was going to happen.